Today we have weather.
That's right, Penny. We're going to talk about some form of weather today. We'll get to that in a little bit. Hey, everybody. I'm Mr. Tyler. Here's my daughter, Penny. We are so excited to do some art with you today. And we're going to be in the Old West. So it's going to be hot and deserty. So that's the weather for today, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some art. This is the art project video. You should have already watched your worksheet video and the slide, and so you've already been learning about our artist of the week. Now let me write down his name for us here. Do you know who we're talking about, Penny?
Yes.
Frederic. What's his last name? Remington.
Oh, yeah.
Frederic Remington. So he is an American artist who he used the style we call realism, and he really liked landscapes. What's a landscape?
It's like backgrounds.
Backgrounds. That's right. So when you look across a desert and you see a tree and a mountain and landscapes, and he really liked the Old West, and so we're going to do a landscape using a lot of warm, deserty colors, so browns and reds, blacks, that kind of thing, as we think about us looking out at a desert plateau with some nice distant mountains and some cactus and things like that. So I'm excited to get into that with you. Let's review what we should have on our desk. You should have 2 pieces of paper.
A black one and a brown one.
Black and brown. And we're going to eventually put these vertical like this. You're going to need a black colored pencil. You're going to need, not a Sharpie, that was for something else. You need some scissors.
Yeah.
You're going to need some glue. And you're going to need
some chalk.
Some chalk and some tissues. All right, so let's get to it. So first things first, the black part is going to be the background of our landscape. And then with this, we're going to make some mountains. Sound fun?
Okay.
So here's what you're going to do. Take your brown piece of paper and turn it horizontal. And then I'm going to cut up from the paper, kind of go down, not quite to the middle, maybe a little above middle. See, like kind of like there, but not too close to the top either. You want to give a nice little space. So like maybe
like this?
Your whole hand this way. Yeah, right around there, Penny. That's perfect. And then as you cut up, pretend you're cutting out the mountain. So it can be kind of jagged up. We're in a desert landscape, so there's a lot of flat plateaus. So you can kind of maybe watch us do it and then do it yourself. So I'm going to kind of do some steps like this. Maybe some long ones, and then maybe I'll go back down like this, maybe down again, maybe up. So you can see I kind of, show yours a little closer, Penny. That's great. So there's some nice flat plateaus here, some mountains. So this is going to become the background of our little landscape here.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. So eventually, we're going to put this down on the bottom, and you can see you should have some nice black space above your brown here. Don't glue it just yet, because we're going to first make some even more distant mountains. Have you ever looked out on the mountains and you see there's some really clear mountains closer, and then you look back and they get further and further away,
and
it's,
they're blue.
they get more blue, and yeah. So now pick a nice landscape color, some maybe like yellow. You could do white. You could do blue. Yeah, I'm gonna do blue too. I like that. So
that's like kind of real life.
So here's what we're gonna do. You're not gonna have it all the way on the bottom of your page. First, go up kind of near, almost to the very top, and then back off just an inch or so. So see, I got it all the way to the top, but not quite to the top. Perfect. So now, take that there, and kind of hard back and forth, right on the tip top of this line, just kind of put a bunch of chalk right there on the top. On the brown. Stay on the brown.
Oh.
So just back and forth, I can kind of start to see some chalk dust, and that's good. You want kind of a lot of chalk dust here. So just right on the top of the brown, so that, yeah, okay, and kind of back and forth a couple times. Take as long as you need. Back and forth a couple times so that there's a good amount of chalk up there, but staying on the brown as much as you can.
There.
Excellent. Okay, now we got to grab our tissue. Grab your tissue, kind of fold it over onto your finger. Now here, so make sure your paper's on the black. Nice. And with your tissue, kind of start, this might be a little tricky. You're going to start on the brown, get your finger a little bit so that it's on, so you can kind of feel the crease. You want to be a little bit on the brown, a little bit on the black. Does that make sense? And then just kind of back and forth like this. See, so what I'm doing is I'm pushing all that chalk dust up onto the black. A little tricky. I can already tell, I feel like I needed more chalk dust on my brown. So I'm going to come back to it again. I'm going to just put a couple lines here on the brown. Take my tissue and push that chalk dust up onto the black. And try with your other hand, try to keep your brown piece of paper pressed down on the black the whole time so that it doesn't move. Cool, okay. How does it, so yeah, rub that one more time, Penny. Good job. Now, just kind of sneak a peek. Just pick up one little layer and see what it looks like. Ooh, I'm going to show you in a little bit. It looks pretty cool. Okay, so if it looks good, what you should see, you kind of see in the distance, it's like a faded background, but a nice crisp line because you kept your brown paper down there. And look, Penny's is like that too. I like that. Okay, now I think we can try another one. So we're going to now kind of line it back up where it was. Pull it down, maybe another inch or two, and then let's try this. Let's flip our brown paper over. Ooh, yeah. And then you can kind of arrange it. So here, you're gonna want, you can overlap a little bit. You see that? So I could put mine here, I could put mine here. What you don't want to, you want to make sure there's still space on the bottom because at the very end we're going to put this brown piece right on the bottom. So somewhere, I'm going to put mine right here. That's perfect. Okay, now, so let's do the same thing again. Where did my piece of chalk go? Well, here we go. Okay, so hold it down and put some nice chalk on your brown. Right, you just back and forth, staying on the brown. Keep with your other hand, keep that brown piece of paper nice and flat.
Okay, I think I'm gonna do this.
Okay, so now what do we do, Penny?
Now we use this tissue to wipe it up again.
That's right. So we hold it down. Use the tissue, just kind of gently get that up there. Wipe that on to black, back and forth. Yeah. Okay.
There.
And you can kind of sneak a peek. If it looks good, take it off.
Ooh.
So I'll show you mine.
I'll show you.
Yeah, look at that. It's like now, so that's going to turn into like there's two distant mountain ridges behind. This looks really cool.
Yeah, it does.
I like that a lot. So now, flip your piece of paper back the original way. Come put it all the way down to the bottom of your page.
still chalky.
Still chalky. So, what's easier? I would recommend gluing it at the very end because otherwise, especially if you're using this kind of glue, it will be all hard and it'll be all wet in the background. If you're using a glue stick, you might be able to do it first, but eventually we're going to glue this right on the bottom here. I'm going to say, let's wait, Penny. You and I are going to wait to do that. Let's color the background. So now what we're going to do just on the brown, you can grab a couple like warm colors would be, you know, red, orange, yellow, maybe even a little white. But what I'm going to do, if you have, I see a brown. So what we want to do, kind of put some nice warm layers, like you're looking out at a nice, beautiful desert. And, you know, deserts sometimes look brown, but actually they have a lot more colors. We're going to do a cactus later, so let's hold off on the green. But this one, so you have your brown here. Let's pick a piece of chalk, hold it horizontal, and kind of just make some horizontal lines like this. And you're not going to color the whole thing the same color. So I'm putting some horizontal lines down. You can kind of see. And then I'm actually going to take a different color and do some other colors, some other horizontal lines down. You still want nice, plenty of brown space showing too, because the desert's also brown. This is just giving a little bit of highlights. Maybe, you know, one more color. And then I'll show you what I did. So I put a bunch of just horizontal lines there. Yeah, and then you can take your tissue that you had used before and just kind of blend it in a little bit. You don't have to don't cover the whole thing. You still want some brown covering, but you just want to kind of smooth out those lines so that it starts to look like a nice desert scene. You can you have some chalk left over from when you did your background. You can kind of take that and blend it down so that it looks like it's just part of the scene.
This?
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
yeah,
what
let's
about
show.
the blue parts?
Yeah, so you just have a little bit of extra shading and background there. Perfect.
What about the blue parts?
You can kind of take, with the blue, I would just take your thing and this time kind of just brush it downwards so that you're mixing it into the rest of your paper. Great.
Oh.
Okay. This looks pretty cool. Take a little bit of time. Make sure you got that done. Okay. So now you should have already done your worksheet, and we did ours. This is from the last video. And one of the worksheets, you drew an outline of a desert plant. Right?
A cactus.
Penny has the circle cactus. I did the long, kind of horseshoe-looking cactus.
Horseshoe.
So take this paper out. If you didn't do this, you might need to pause the video and go find your worksheet and make sure you have at least this one. It's the desert plants page 2. So you have yours. And what we're going to do now is on this sheet, before we cut it out, we're going to color it and add some more thorns. So this is a cactus, right? So let's go ahead and so we can color it. And then with maybe your black pencil, you can add some details onto your cactus. So I'm going to outline my cactus and put some thorns, and I'm also going to color my cactus. And I think cactuses are usually green.
Mine has cactus fruit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can add some fruit, some red fruit, or maybe a cactus flower. Those are usually nice bright yellow. So yeah, so take some time and add some more detail onto this outline with your black pencil and with your chalk.
The ones that are by the bridge one time had fruit, and they had like pink fruit.
Oh yeah. The pink, if you've seen cactuses around here with the pink or red fruit, those are called prickly pears.
Yeah, like the ones by the bridge.
Have you ever eaten a prickly pear?
No.
I have. They're yummy, but they're filled with really hard seeds that you can't eat very easily.
There's There's a big circle cactus by the bridge near our house. And one time it had prickly pears.
That's right.
There's like red ones.
Okay.
I'm making thorns on it.
So I'm going to give it a nice background. Outline with the black. That's helpful to see it a little better.
Whoa. Here's mine. Let's show them.
So Penny, you're faster than me. Do you want to start cutting it out? So now carefully take your scissors and cut out just the cactus as close to your lines as you can. So we're creating a little background. Or no, this would be called the foreground. The background were the mountains. The foreground is what comes before. Nice. You're using my big scissors. I'll use your little scissors.
Little scissors are too little.
Yeah, this is going to be tricky. My hands are pretty big.
I'll get some more big scissors. You can have these big scissors.
Wow, thanks. Okay.
I'm gonna cut the big ones first. The ones that are easier to cut first. And then I'm gonna cut the other ones, but that'll probably be hard. I don't think I can cut all the lines.
You don't have to be perfectly around every line. You can leave a little space, just kind of as close as you can. And yeah, try to leave as little white space as possible, but it's okay. Just as good as you can. Yeah.
What about this?
Nice. Excellent. Okay. So now we got to do some gluing. If you haven't glued this already, I would suggest gluing this first, the brown. And then we're going to take our little cactus and put it right down here on the brown so that we have a little foreground. So Penny and I are going to glue our brown first, right there at the bottom, so that it's touching the bottom of your black page. And then put that there, down at the bottom. Once that's glued on, get some glue on the back of your cactus and find a spot on your foreground somewhere so that it's all on the brown, more or less. Yeah, that's good. And then I'm just going to kind of glue my cactus right there.
There's some of the glue got here.
Oh, that's okay. Here, I'll help. Maybe we kind of quickly scrape up the glue. There. So yeah, get your cactus on there. And then, once you've glued that down, you can take your black pencil again, and if you want to add any more details, maybe a few of your cactus spikes want to go off onto the brown so they look like really big spikes.
On the back.
Oh yeah.
Here.
This isn't in the instructions, but you know what I want to add? A little lizard.
Okay. I'm gonna add it. I wanna add a rock. gonna make a rock that's brown.
Yeah, or a little rock or something. So anyway, here is our little landscape. I put a little lizard right there. This looks really cool. I want to do more of this. You know what? I'm glad that we're studying Remington this week. So many of us have been so cooped up inside. You're doing Zoom all day, and this is a great reminder that there's such beauty out there in nature. Maybe just take a walk with your family and find a landscape around here that you could turn into a Remington style art. You could do this a lot of different ways. You know, you could draw the mountains in our valley and turn this into your own landscape. But take some time. Take some time outside this week. Wouldn't that be great? So, thanks everybody. Would love to see your art. You can post that online, and hope you're all having a great time. See you next time.
Bye.
Say bye.
Bye. This is the news.
Hello, hello.
This is the news.
Sit up tall.
Today we have weather.
And this is the news.
Hi, Adams.
Daddy. Okay.
Can you,
The
do you
weather
wanna-
with Megan Abel's head to